The whole entire purpose of this light alchemy, of this focus upon transmutation, transformation of the lower nature into the higher nature, the whole purpose is the attainment, the realization as the ultimate goal of Christ consciousness, of becoming, as best as we are able, you and I, each of us have our own path, but to the best of our abilities, to attain and to emulate Christ. And yes, there was an individual who lived, Yeshua ben Joseph. We know him here in the West as Jesus. His last name wasn't Christ, people. That was his attainment. That was, now granted, he came into the game, he came into this third dimension with extraordinary signs and gifts. He was set apart, this individual, for sure. But he had to be to come into this 3D mutant matrix. But the whole purpose of this light alchemy, of this endeavor, is to, one, to continue, for my purposes, to continue to learn, to refine my understanding, to grow in the light, to further solidify and anchor my light body into this 3D mutant matrix. And by sharing the information as best as I am able, it's not professionally done, I understand that. There's quirks, there's things, there's echo in my voice that people have problems with. But to the best of my ability, I share this knowledge, to pronounce the word knowledge, in homage of Vasamazulu Baba Credu Mutwa, who I believe was an emissary of light, who achieved his light body while he was here. And he is another person to emulate, much the same as Jesus the Christ. But there are many examples from the world over of those anointed ones, those who achieved their light bodies and lived with the power of the light infused in this 3D mutant matrix. So there is a template, if you will, a Christ template. A template is a blueprint, is a set of instructions, if you will, or a model, but a template of ideal light-infused material of God being manifest in this physical reality, which it's up for debate whether this is truly God's design, because we have the whole story of the Anunnaki, Enki, and Lil tampering with DNA, tampering with the Christos template for their own purposes, for the negative alien agenda, regressive aliens and such. But at the end of the day, it all is part of God's plan, I do truly believe, because everything serves as its lesson. So not to get too far off topic with all that, but it is the cosmic Christ template from source that we are meant to investigate and emulate, not Enki or Enlil and their examples, because they're just more of the same. They're just, how we see in anthropomorphic gods and the whole Greek pantheon, all the, it was just kind of this, yeah, they had superpowers and all, but they were still not acting as Christ. They were still kind of ego infested. And really, at the end of the day, the ego is what we're looking to get away from, because, to define the antithesis of the light body and attaining the light body, we have the ego to consider and acting through the ego. So there's egotistical behavior that we're all familiar with. an inability to listen to any idea other than their own. That sounds pretty egotistical. That sounds like some of the whole drama of the Anunnaki. You know, they're just a family feud. They lock in on their opinion. Even worse, they will jump into a situation and undermine others because the decision was not theirs. Blah, blah, blah. A need for individual validation all the time. A person with an ego issue will take credit for the work or ideas of others, even in their own head. That sounds like Enlil and Enki. You know, they're battling about who's, you know, in control of what and all that. And, you know, so that's not who we're meant to emulate. You know, that's just some of our cosmic cousins and some of their family feuding and whatnot. But that is not the ultimate example. That is not the source of how we make it through the 3D mutant matrix and into the golden earth or the golden age timeline of the new earth. We're not going to get there by emulating the Anunnaki. And perhaps I understand it wrong, but I do have a firmer understanding of Christ and what Christ represents. So the cosmic Christ, the template of the cosmic Christ, New Testament revelation is the radicalization of God, the materialization of divine reality. And this is all stuff that was argued at the Council of Nicaea back in 325 AD. This is where the Emperor Constantine came in, took the message of the original message of Christ and put it under control, under state control of this world. So the individual could not become the materialization of divine reality. So it took from the church teachings the understanding of the cosmic Christ and how it must begin with the knowledge concerning the radicalization of God in materiality. That is heaven and earth, heaven manifested in earth. Not as a governing principle of order, but a self-making God in material existence. And if that doesn't, right there, if that does not define alchemy and what the whole purpose of alchemy is about, is a self-making God in material existence. Yes. Okay. And you can take that how you want. You can, if you want to see that as blasphemy or what have you, then you're still under the control of the organized religion. Because really, if you're familiar with the, you know, God helps those who help themselves. And that's the whole point of us being here in this existence. It's a earth, as Dolores Cannon has stated, is a learning laboratory. It's a school. You know, it's a hard school. It's considered one of the hardest schools. But that right there, that definition of, you know, essentially a self-making God in material existence. That is what alchemy is about. We are using the principles of alchemy and the study course, the light body, to turn ourselves into more than human, into what is commonly understood as being human. So manifesting heaven into this reality, that is essentially how the new earth comes about, is that each and every person, through their best of their ability, emulates the Christ and assumes the Christ template. And yes, if you want me to say Jesus the Christ, that makes you more comfortable. But I'm here to tell you that I'm Mark McGuire the Christ. And that is not being egotistical or God. That is just simply what we're meant to do here on this planet, in this third dimensional mutant matrix, is to take our lower nature through alchemy and transmute it to the higher natures, to take our lower base matter, transmute it to the higher light quotients. So if your name is Jim Smith or Barbara Billingsley, that's a good alliteration, Barbara Billingsley. It doesn't matter. You can achieve the title of Christ as well. And that is what the true mission of Christ was. He came here to teach that yes, you little poor fishermen in Galilee, yes, you prostitute that I will wash the feet of, you, all of you have the means and everything within you to become a Christ, to become anointed. So, that's the whole endeavor, that's the whole purpose with this light alchemy course and presenting these materials. I got a little bit off track, but I'm going to come back at it later, and we'll talk about the law of attraction, keeping in mind that our thoughts are electricity and our emotions are magnetic energy, and when we marry the two, then we are well on our way to achieving our light bodies and cosmic Christ gnosis. So stay tuned, folks, but yeah, it's about emulating what we've been given the example, as distorted and skewed as it may have been for purposes, but there's a lot of confusion, and it's been kind of because the Bible still contains the Old Testament. If they had just released the Bible like A Course in Miracles and focused on, Yeshua's teachings and along with some of the Nag Hammadi, Dead Sea Scrolls, and left all the Council of Nicaea crap out that's nothing but organized religion and meant to control and keep people in this confused, permanently off balance sort of existence, like with this old dichotomy of the Old Testament, Yahweh, the reptilian God, and then you got the words of Jesus, and it's clearly, but, perhaps that's part of the test for us to navigate. Only the strong survive, but in the sense that the strength of your conviction and determination to carry on along the path to achieve your light body. And I believe sincerely that part of that conviction and determination upon your part, dear viewer, esteemed, honorable, and notable and noble viewer, would be to hit that subscribe button. You would demonstrate your conviction and determination to achieve your light body by giving this video a thumbs up and staying tuned for further video offerings and information dissemination from the Umbanda New Earth Ashram for compassion, strength, and light body achievement.
Namaste, Maskaram.